Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is basically unchanged in an unchanged situation to yesterday. So just a quick update for today. If you're interested in the daily time frame, check out my last video in which I talked about the daily time frame a little more extensively. On the shorter time frame, I still see this move down as primarily the orange wave count. Remember, orange and yellow, they are basically, you could say, the same wave counts, just with different subdivisions. They would both take us ideally into the region between 22 and 24K. I have outlined my concerns with both wave counts. The proportions don't seem to be right, so they're not perfect. So we have to be on our toes here. I would not be surprised if we have to change the microstructure. If, due to the, let's say, unclear lower degree wave counts, so the micro counts are not very clear here. ETH, for example, works much better. So it doesn't matter. So the resistance for Bitcoin remains in this region between 27.2K and 27,620. This is still resistance for Bitcoin with one more low to come. That's the ideal scenario here. If we then get this one more low, then this would probably not complete the overall correction, which started in April already. No, it would most likely only be the completion of a 5-wave move down, which we would count as a wave 1 diagonal here. And then from there, we are forecasting a wave 2 correction in an ABC structure, which should be followed by a 3rd wave breakdown. This could form a head and shoulders pattern. So let's show that. First of all, test the 26K level in wave 1. Then, this is, by the way, last support basically. Then we could get this wave 2 corrective rally. And the 3rd wave down is then where the fun will start and the party will really begin. Then a 4th wave and a 5th wave could take us into this region between 24 and 22K. The orange wave count looks better than the yellow one when we talk about proportions, especially with the latest sideways consolidation here, which started this week. And the yellow one would be more aggressive on the downside, not necessarily in terms of price target, but more in terms of how fast are we getting there, okay? But because we're not getting there very fast, as it seems at the moment, I prefer the orange count, which focuses on a diagonal structure. And in this diagonal, the current forecast is that a 3rd wave was completed and that we're currently moving in a sideways 4th wave. This was the forecast for the weekend. I indicated to you yesterday that it could be that this 4th wave is already complete. It's a little bit too early to say that. Bitcoin usually extends its wave 4s out and sort of towards the time, roughly the time that the wave 2 took. So maybe another day or so. And in terms of resistances, Bitcoin tends to do shallow wave 4s. Yeah, that's okay. Bitcoin is less volatile than, for example, ETH. But I would still prefer if Bitcoin at least reaches 27.2K. This would be standard resistance. But I cannot rule out that the wave 4 is already over. Looking at the price action now, though, I don't think it's over, and Bitcoin should go a little higher. That would be preferred into the region between 27.2K and 27.6. From there, I would watch for a reaction, okay? So I'm not telling you we will break down from there, but it is the area where I am going to watch for a reaction. It's basically a pivot. It's a pivot point, and in this area, we should see a reaction. At least the price has a good chance to show a reaction if the current wave count and interpretation is correct. As soon as we break below the last swing low here, this week's swing low, at around 26,540, it should send the price down in wave 5 of 1 to around about 26K. Only above 27,620, I have to interpret something more bullish into this chart. We would have to probably extend the B wave a little higher. But this is currently not the primary scenario. Could an overall low be in already? Yes, but also here I don't have the evidence on the chart that would make me focus on that. That would become more likely above 27,620. But again, I won't start really looking for very bullish options short term until we see a break above resistance. However, it's worth knowing what a bullish scenario would be. And I mentioned to you before, it could just be that this B wave is simply extending. Okay, that could be simply extending. For example, I showed you that before. What we have there as as WXY, so the B wave, could just be a larger A, B, C. That's of course possible, but then I have no evidence that a C wave has started. It's just worth knowing about it, but I mentioned it many times before, the B wave can of course reset higher. If we look at the daily chart, this B wave still has space. If it resets, it should start from this region somewhere, but it would need a break above resistance to give us some evidence for it. So yeah, so I expect today rather sideways action, and then maybe as we get into the new trading week, a breakdown from resistance. We might still reach it. That would be preferred to get a more healthy wave for, even though it already has a good size now. And then going towards 26K next would be the preferred option. That's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.